Hello, hello, hello. Hope you're well. Hope you're swell. Hope you're wavy. Hope you're gravy. Hope you're gravy. Hope you're gravy. We're gonna be giving you a haircut today. We're cutting your hair. We're cutting it good. And you just spread the word. Just if you want a haircut, if you want to look sexy, you come to this guy. Come to Jess. Come to Jay's ASMR. You'll change your life. You'll change your life. Your debts will vanish. All your beefs, all your enemies will vanish. You'll have increased libido, increased lifespan, just more money in your bank accounts. Like, if you have like tummy aches or bad gas, that's gone. Just a lot that comes from this haircut. That's why I've decided to charge $10,000 for this haircut, because there's just so many you even you get to go to heaven, because the haircut is it's a heaven passport. So when you die, even if you're a scumbag, you're a piece of trash, you rock up with this haircut, and the angels at the gates of heaven will say, wow, you are trash. We know you. You don't deserve to be here. But that haircut is crazy. That was Jaden's ASMR that gave you that haircut. We know him, and it's a certified haircut, because he was blessed by God to cut hair. You can't turn you away when you're looking so good, when you're looking so sexy. So come on in. These are the sort of haircuts I give here. That's why I am charging $10,000. So please pay now, and then we'll cut your hair. It's not too much. Pay up. Please be serious. Thank you. Well, what was that? That was that was improvised, and I don't know what I was on. This is random. This might be TMI. But dudes get boners at night. Like, you won't even be thinking about sex and all these sort of things, but your willy just fills up with blood, and you just rock hard. You're just hard, and let me just cut you like this. And it's a problem, because that's how you get morning wood and all these things. You just wake up in the morning, and it's just standing at attention. But I woke up like last night, and I was like, I need to pee, but it's standing straight, and you're like, what do I do? Because if you're a dude, you can't pee when you're erect. It's too hard. I meant that in terms of difficulty, but anyway, it's too difficult. It's like you want it to be pointing downwards, it's pointing upwards, it's doing like unless you're like creative and athletic, and like you can like do handstands and maybe get it in, and you can end up peeing in your mouth though. I'm imagining someone doing a handstand over the toilet trying to pee that way, and then they just piss on their own face. That's not ideal. But yeah, it's I don't think you can pee with a boner. I really don't think you can do it. I can't do it. And I wanted to pee last night, and I was like, what do I do? This is a problem. This is a serious problem that I really need to pee. And I just stood at the toilet, and I just started meditating and just thinking about grass like a breeze blowing through the grass and leaves and sunshine on my face, and I was counting. I was doing all sorts of things, just thinking about just like random stuff that's not like sexy, and but peaceful. And slowly it started going down, and I was like, okay, just keep going. Because sometimes, when when you tell yourself, don't think of an elephant, don't think of an elephant, don't think of an elephant, you're just thinking of an elephant the whole time. I was trying to avoid that scenario where I was like, don't think of sexy things, don't think of sexy things. And instead, I was just thinking about like nature and life and all this sort of thing, and just slowly going down. And I was like, okay, just keep this going, just keep this going. And I actually managed. To. Don't move too much. It's a haircut. And I managed to get it down, and then I peed. And I was very proud of myself. I was like, wow. It was so cool. It felt like I tamed a dragon. Like what is it, Game of Thrones? Like, isn't it like cool when you just see them like walk up to the dragon and touch it and it just obeys? I felt like that. I felt like just like I felt like I mastered this thing, and it was just being very obedient to me. So I think that's a technique. I don't think I've ever done that before. I mean, I probably have. This can't be this is definitely not the first time I've had a bone and needed a pee. But this just felt crazy to me. Last night was just like I felt like so cool. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. I don't know if that's interesting to you, but it's interesting to me. And yeah, anyway, I shared a while back about the concept of art and time, and how taking your time when it comes to art, sometimes people think that just means working around the clock. But part of taking your time when it comes to crafting something is letting ideas develop. It means stepping away from the work and taking time off to develop a new perspective on it, so that you can come back with fresh eyes. Just brush off the excess hair here. Come back with fresh eyes, and then that will influence the work you continue to do on that particular project. And just cut a bit more. And I feel like time can kind of be viewed as like seasoning. Like, you take your time on something, you infuse it with time, and you can just tell when someone's taking their time with something. There's just a certain level of quality a project that someone took their time on has, that effort alone can't be, because you can try and muscle your way through a project, but without that necessary time that's been put aside, you can often tell that, okay, this was rushed, and the idea wasn't fully fleshed out, and this could have been better, and this, like, there's just certain things I've realized that time gives you that effort alone cannot. As an example, like, so I'm thinking of this in the context of my book that I'm writing. I'm writing a book right now, and people have been waiting on it, and I thank you for everyone who's still waiting, by the way. And it is moving. It is truly moving that I'm going to put this out and some people are going to read it. I don't know how many people are going to read it, but whoever reads it, thank you and thank you and thank you, and I hope you enjoy it. I think you will. I think I've taken the necessary time. I'm continuing to take the necessary time to make this as good as it can be. And the reason why I'm taking so much time is just so that, like I said, this can be as good as it can be. And one of the things I've noticed because I've taken time is that characters are really starting to stand out and stand apart from each other because you take the time. So like once I write a chapter, it's like okay, like let's edit the chapter, let's look at character motivations, let's change this dialogue here, this like let maybe this character could stand apart more. So let me add this little mannerism that they keep doing whenever they're talking to make them more distinct. All these sort of things. Like you don't rush. Like you don't rush because it's like, oh my gosh, I've been working on this segment for weeks now. When am I gonna be done? It's like, don't worry about that. Just you're done when you're done. Because it's so tempting to just to wait, let me brush it off. Yeah, it's just here. It's so tempting to rush, to just get it out of the way. But it's like you pay the price for that, man. I really feel like, the book, the story's fleshed out, the characters are fleshed out, everything's fleshed out, and people enjoy themselves just to have fun reading and being like, wow, this is a great book. So, so important to get that right. I want to comb the hair. So yeah, even with the world, you get to add certain details, add certain parts of the world that weren't there before. So the second drop is just expanded the world the characters are in by. And it's like I'm thinking about like other because I have a whole first draft that I wrote and completed. Very proud of that. And there's a particular area that the characters will go to at some point in the story. Well, this is like later on. This might be for the third book because I split it into 3 books essentially. Because the first book was pretty long, and now that I'm rewriting everything, I'm realizing everything's just getting expanded, so it's getting longer and longer. So I'm just gonna split it into 3 books. So maybe by the third book they're gonna second book. I think in the second book they're going to reach this region. And I was just thinking about like, wait, I can add this detail, I can add this. There's just so many ideas I didn't explore. I was just kind of rushing. But now that I'm coming back to it, I think I'm gonna expand it and just make it feel more alive and interesting and add more lore. And it's gonna be good. So it's so important to take your time, and taking your time doesn't always necessarily mean working around the clock. I think it's important to work hard. I think it's important to put in your best effort, but I think it's also important to recognize that not everything is going to get done at once. And it's so important to just take a step back sometimes and just let something simmer, let something bake before you attend to it again. And it's so marvelous what happens as a result. So yeah, man, I'm not rushing. I would have liked to be done by my birthday. I don't know why. That's an important thing to me, but it just seemed like a cool thing. It would have been nice before I turned 25 to have a book done. But not looking. It's not looking likely. It's not looking likely. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. So I'm gonna just keep going. To be honest, until I'm done. I'm almost done though. I'm nearing the end. But who knows when that'll be reached? Who knows? I just ask for continued patience, and the wait will be worth it. Okay. We've I should put no, it's okay. The haircut's done. I'm gonna give you a massage now. give you a massage now, scalp massage, just to get you relaxed, at ease. You've gotten this haircut, now it's just time to really unwind. Maybe I should have given. Do you give the massage before or after the haircut? Like, because I can imagine you'd mess up with the hair just running your hands through the head. But I'm a professional, and it doesn't matter how I do it. It ends up good regardless. I'm just that good. It's just like it doesn't matter how I do it. It doesn't matter what order I do it in. It just always ends up amazing. I'm gonna put like some Vaseline. Just to enrich your scalp. Just to enrich the scalp. Make it feel nice. Make it feel nice. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Massage. I was thinking about like if dream scenario book does well. Yeah, I think one thing I'd love to do is a book tour. Ideal scenario is I do think the biggest market's going to end up being in the States regardless. Primarily because, yeah. So with my YouTube audience, the biggest audience is from the States. So assuming that's who gets my book, and it just spreads from there, I think the biggest market for the book would be in the States. I think that would be the case regardless. There's not a huge, there are quite a few people who read here in South Africa, but there's not a huge market for, there's not a huge market for like fantasy writers, all these sort of things. I'm writing a pirates book, but it has fantasy elements. But yeah, just because of the way I'm promoting the book with this audience, it's predominantly American. If it does catch fire, I think most of the people buying the book will probably come from that part of the world. And an American book tour would be amazing. I'd love to just catch a bunch of planes, go to different places, meet people, talk about the book. That would be so good. That would keep me busy for sure, and I just love doing that. It'd be nice to have like a little run doing that. That'd be so fulfilling for sure. And then you put out the next book, and you put out the next one, and then you move on to the next story. After book 3, this will be done, and I'll move on to the next story that I want to write. Got a bunch. Got so many ideas. Got so many ideas. But yeah, for sure, a book tour would be amazing. I hope that remains relevant for a while. The concept of book tours and talking about your book in public, doing public readings, all that sort of stuff. I hope that remains relevant. It would be sad if that just goes out of fashion. Everyone's just doing like virtual book tours. Just do it via Zoom. No, guys, no, you have to be in person. You have to be able to travel. You have to be able to see people in the flesh. So important. So that's what I'm working towards. Every day I'm working on this book, just trying to get it complete, just trying to get it done. I'm very curious to see how it'll perform. I don't know. Let me do some scalp scratching. Scratch the scalp, scratch the scalp, scratch, 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 scratch. I really don't know what I'd spend my money on if I was wealthy. I don't know. I think I'll spend a lot of money on food. Spend a lot of money on food. But that's not something that can clean out your bank account, but hopefully not. I mean, this. Nah, nah. I think I'd have that under control. I don't think I'd. I think it's very hard to blow your wealth on just food. Like it's difficult. But I would be someone that goes out very regularly because I just like to eat good food and I like to experiment and taste different things. So I'd spend a lot of money on food. I'm not a car person like that. I'll probably get like a nice. I've been seeing a lot of people like using like Teslas and like showing off the self-driving stuff. So I want to try that out and see what that's like. I was thinking about this. I'm very happy that we're in the era of self-driving now because, I used to think like, what do I do if I'm on a date with a girl and I have to parallel park? I was never good at parallel parking. When I got my so how I did my driver's test is my mom was clever. She made us do the test for truck drivers. So you drive these, not like I don't know if it's like for truck drivers, but like the trucks we did were like these big trucks, but like not the industrial ones, but how do I describe it? It's not like a Ford F-150. It's not like that, but it's like a truck. But it's not like these massive cargo trucks or the ones that carry fuel tankers. Not those ones, but maybe somewhere like halfway between. I don't know. But we did a driver's test for like heavy vehicles, and in those tests, if you pass that test, you qualify for both small cars and large vehicles. But you don't have to do parallel parking because obviously these are very big vehicles. You're probably not going to be parallel parking in some neighborhood somewhere or whatever. So parallel parking wasn't a requirement for the test. And as a result, I just never had to get good at parallel parking. So I'm not that good at parallel parking. And I was just like, what happens if I'm on a date with a girl and I have to parallel park? And I just make a fool out of myself. That was always a nightmare scenario. I was like, oh my gosh. But now that we're in the era of self-driving, I feel like the problem has sorted itself out. Obviously I have to get a self-driving car, and it'll do most of the work. If it needs my help, I'll make adjustments, but it'll park for me. Crisis averted. I never want to think about parallel parking ever again. The devil is a liar. What do you mean park between this tight spot? I struggle with normal parking. Okay, I don't want to say some. I'm a decent driver. I drive manual. How many people drive manual these days? It's not common. I know how to drive a manual vehicle. I actually did drive an automatic vehicle once. I had this crazy friend. He was a nut job. And I remember I was like coming home. He was driving me home from this other guy's house, and she was just randomly like, "Do you want to drive my car, bro?" I'm like, "No, I've never driven before. I'll just crash your whip." He's like, "No, just drive it. I'm like, "Bro, I've never driven," but he's tapped. He's sick in the head. He's like, "Drive it. Come on, bro, drive it." I'm like, "Okay." And I got in the driver's seat, and it was an automatic car, so you didn't have to shift gears and whatnot. And I just drove it in a straight line down the road, and it felt so cool. And nothing happened. And stopped the car, got out. He took the driver's seat again, and he took me home. I was just shocked that he let me do that. But that was the one time I drove an automatic car. It was a Volkswagen Polo GTI. I don't know what it was, but it was automatic. So that's the only time I've ever driven an automatic vehicle. I drive manual, so give me credit, okay? A lot of people can't drive manual to save their lives. I can. I mean, I hear people talk about driving manual like it's some scary things. I assume that that's the thing a lot of people struggle with, but I don't know how common it is to drive automatic versus manual. But I'm just trying to, you know, give myself some cool points at least. But yeah, I'm not the best. Okay, okay. I don't want to make myself sound like a bad driver. I'm not a bad driver. I just get nervous in certain parking scenarios because I feel like people are watching me. I just get very self-conscious when I'm parking, you know? I don't want to look like a clown. I remember I was driving these girls, like there were 3 girls with me. I was in a car, we were going somewhere, and the car stalled. Oh, fuck. That's the problem with driving manual cars. Is that it's so easy to stall if you don't know what you're doing. So I was like driving up a hill. Oh my gosh, bro, so embarrassing just thinking about it. Cringing. Oh, and I had to apologize. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, this doesn't usually happen. I'm like, no, it's okay. Oh my gosh, bro. I'm like, what's wrong with me? But anyway, yeah. I look forward to those days being in the past, those days being behind me. Well, look, I don't stall anymore. I haven't stalled in a long time. I'm used to it now. Yeah, I don't stall at all. I used to stall a lot, but that was when I was first starting out with driving. Now it's like, I wouldn't say it's second nature. It's definitely not second nature, but it's like, it's just certain things I don't do anymore. I just know how to drive now. But parking, I'm still figuring that out. No, I know how to park, damn it. I know how to park. It's just there's some scenarios where the parking is really tight where, you know, I get nervous. I like, for example, I hate going into a packed mall, like all the parking spots are taken and you find like a very tight parking space. I hate that scenario because my fear is like scratching someone's car when I'm reversing in or whatever. I always try to get to places early so that there's options for parking, so that I'm not like stressed out when I'm trying to park the car. And it's just even worse when you're with a girl, man, because you want to impress her, you want to look cool, you want to look confident, you don't want to look like a fool. Like, what's this guy doing? You know? Oof. So yeah, self-driving cars though, they couldn't have come at a better time, man. I'm definitely caught me on a list, but I'm not a car person, so that was a tangent. When it comes to like what I'd spend my money on, I don't think I'll just be buying a bunch of whips. I think I'll have like one good car, maybe 2. And I know that it just gets me from point A to point B. I'd like to live in a good neighborhood, safe, no drama. I think I'll spend a lot of money on food. I don't know if I'll spend that much on clothing. You know, with me and fashion, it's like I actually like to dress up. I actually like to look good, but what I've found is that you know what it is. I think when you're going to particular places, you want to look good, but on the day-to-day, just regular, it's just let me not lie. I like to look good. I guess it just depends on the situation, but I like to look good. So I think when I'm going out, like to get groceries and stuff, you know, I'll just wear a hoodie and some sweats. But if I'm going out, like out, yeah, I like to look as good as I can. But because because my money, I have a budget these days. I don't spend money on clothes. Clothes are not something I spend money on right now. So my wardrobe is not a priority for me right now, just because of budget constraints. Of all the things I can spend money on, I'm not interested in spending money on clothes right now. But if when I have more expendable income, I will spend more money on clothes. And yeah, but for now, I'm cool just looking regular. I think even now, I think I can put it together. I can put together a good outfit depending on the situation. But yeah, I'll probably spend a lot on travel. I'd love to travel. I'd love to fly business class, like the highest class. What's the highest class? I don't know. Just be comfortable in the planes. I'll probably spend a lot of money on that. Just so that we're flying comfortably. What else would I spend money on? Hotels. Going to nice hotels. What else would I spend money on? My hope is that my habits are not expensive. You know, like at least the things I describe are expensive. But if you're like wealthy, because you know some like for example, if you look at some of these rappers, they blow money on the dumbest things. Millions of dollars on chains, bro, that they never wear again. They wear it once, twice, a few times. They get pictures taken, and it just sits in like the jewelry box. And they never really use it again. Because it's also a lot of these chains are just impractical. They don't look good. I mean, they look expensive, but they're so like ridiculous. A lot of them like a SpongeBob chain, this fat SpongeBob chain. Like, what do you even wear that with, bro? It just calls too much attention to itself. It's not subtle at all, and it's clearly just there to scream I'm rich, but it doesn't really serve like aesthetic purposes. It's not. It don't go with anything. So I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't be buying like a ton of sports cars and all these other things. I think a car is an accessory. So you know, in certain scenarios, like if you're getting invited to some fancy event or whatnot, you know, it's nice to have a fancy car, I guess. I'm really not a car person. I wouldn't get cars just to look good for people, in the sense that, you know, like again, I think it's nice to have a nice car like for nice events, but I wouldn't be like a collector to say, look at my expensive car collection. 'Cause I think that's a vanity project for real. I think a lot of people just do that for like ego and all that sort of stuff. I don't care about that. I'd rather spend money on other things that make me happy. So yeah, maybe you get like one nice car for like nice events and stuff. Something timeless. You don't have to keep upgrading it. Something that just looks good in perpetuity. And that's what you use for like the fancy stuff. And then, yeah, I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see. I think it's very easy to waste money for sure. But I'm just hoping I don't have expensive habits. My habits are pretty expensive. Like buying food is expensive now just because my budget is so tight. But I think once you get to a certain level, it's like, it's such a negligible expense. So we'll see, man. We'll see how frugal I am, or not frugal. I don't mean. It would be nice to be frugal, but I don't want to have to be. Anywho, y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Hopefully this was relaxing for you. You know, I like to pray at the end of these videos, so. And unique and guide our walk towards peace, prosperity, and purpose. Thanks for blessing this person with wonderful people in my life. I love and take care of them, bring them to the best out of them, and thanks for maintaining the ones that are there to do the same thing. Thanks for blessing this person with spirit of gratitude, with love and marriage, and sustaining the love and marriage and making me very, very happy. Thanks for blessing this person with spirit of gratitude so they can give thanks for all the wonderful things in their life. And giving thanks, they can find peace, contentment, and attract even more blessings. Let your prayers be found in this person's life. So the knowledge of God, that you realize you love them, you always be there for them, good outcome, life, and happiness over this person. I really care about them. Remember, pray, in Jesus' name, I pray. Amen, amen, and amen.